Ralph, you obviously you and I cannot speak to the personal experiences that Jeane and Bart have gone through, but you can speak to an experience of covering the NFL in the sense of how owners think. Do you think they're trying to improve in this area, and how much do you think that the fact that they are trying to run, and this is, well, let's be clear, I just think they view everything in a business lens and they stumble all over themselves when they do it, when this is the last thing that's important, actually, in this case, is business. Justice is what's important here.
Yeah, I hesitate to paint all 32 owners with a single brush, because I do believe that there are some who are good people who would really like to have some kind of effect on change in this country, who maybe needed to be educated but believe in social justice and want to help their players and the people that work for them and just want to do better. But my experience overall with the league is everything is a business decision. It's all about money. There was just an interesting story. Joe Lockhart, who was a former vice president in the NFL, worked for the Clinton administration. He wrote a column for CNN on Colin Kaepernick, and he talked about how one owner said that if he signed Colin Kaepernick, he'd lose 20% of his season ticket holders. I remember John Mara talking about the issue and saying that the letters he got from fans, there was more passion and more anger about Colin Kaepernick and people kneeling for the anthem than anything else associated with his time with the team. And obviously he knew that the Giants weren't in the market for a quarterback, but had they signed him, they would have lost some business. And I really believe that the dollars and cents play a huge part in everything they try to do. And I do think that in some places around the league, it's damage control, and they think, okay, let's throw money at this program. Let's do what we can, because this is a way to win back some fans, to keep our players happy, and to keep our bottom line even, because in the end, that sometimes is the most important thing to them, and that's kind of sad.
Bart,
Ralph,
you obviously haven't.
Here's the difference,
ahead, Bart.
Ralph. Before you can get away with that, now the players understand what the plight is. They understand that, we can make us being on this team bad for business as well. And we can make you lose a whole hell of a lot more than 40%, because we tried it the other way, and we're still here in the same place that we were when Colin knelt before. We stood up. We stood up and we said we're going to do the justice reform. And if we don't get justice and we don't get real change, these other owners, they're asking players to be leaders in the community, but they fail to be leaders themselves because they were complicit. Because at the end of the day, they cared more about what their fans. Let's be honest. These owners are already rich. Not all of them are as rich as the other, but we talking about teams and organizations that have went up and tripled in value since those same black athletes have been able to come on and make the game so exciting that the TV deals are off the roof. What happened when in North Carolina, when Charlotte decided to say, we're not going to host your All-Star game here because of the transgender bathroom rule. So I think it's up to players now to say, we're not asking anymore. We're demanding. And we can make this as uncomfortable for you as you want. Just look at how the difference in how the NBA handles these same social issues. It always seems like they're in front. It always seems like the NFL is always reacting. Right? Because they would have got in front, they should have met with the players, gave them a voice, gave them power, and asked them, how can we do this the right way that's satisfying for us and for our fans? And they could have did that because they control the narrative. They're the ones with the media. They're the ones that can get press conferences and be able to get the narrative out about why he was kneeling. But no, they allow other people, and I'm not going to get political, they allow other people to politicize what it was and not really, and make it about a flag and a song and not about social injustice. So that's on them, because the NBA didn't have to have that problem, because they didn't need somebody to kneel, because the words and the thoughts and views of their players were able to be explained.
Jeane, give me your final thought on this and how the NFL can actually become a leader in this area, something we know they have not been. How can they become a leader in this area going forward? How can they improve on what's been stumble after stumble by them?
Well, I think first off, you need white players to step up and say, this is wrong. You need the Tom Brady's. Yeah, you need the Tom Brady's. You need the Joe Burrows. You need Aaron Rodgers. You need these guys like, no, This is not okay. My skin, I'm treated differently because of my skin color. And Bart, like you were talking about, your skin is black. Yeah, 3 hours, 4 hours every Sunday, you get to entertain people and people don't want to deal with it. Well, guess what? When you leave, your skin's still black. You're still treated that way. You don't ever get to escape that. So I think you need these white players to step up and really start saying, no, this isn't how it's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And you need these black players to say, I'm not playing unless this is going to happen. And all you need really is that one owner. And you need more people that look like these players. I mean, let me see these numbers. There was 22 head coaching vacancies in the last 3 off seasons. Only 2 were filled by black men. How many times has there been a black team president? 0. How many black GMs are there? I mean, the fact that Eric Bieniemy is not a head coach, and nothing against Joe Judge, but if you just gave me their resumes in front of you, who are you hiring? That has to change. You need to see more people in roles of color and team presidents and these owners. One owner can make a difference. That's it. You just need one guy to say, no, I'm going to be there for my players. And then it just downfalls. And then bring Colin Kaepernick in. Hire him. The NFL should hire him and say, you know what, made a mistake, but I need you. You need to help us. You can be our spokesperson. That's what needs to happen. Now you want
them to sell out. Now you want to come back.
No, I'm just saying,
you gave him a bogus workout 8 months ago where you knew nobody going to sign him anyway because they know how polarizing he is. But maybe now more white people are able to accept it and able to understand his message because now they're dealing with it. You know why they're paying attention? Because they're burning stuff down, because they're destroying stuff, because the economy can't get picked up, which takes us all the way back to the original thing. You only care about us when it affects your bottom dollar, and that's not what humans should do. We should have more empathy and understand when somebody's going through something. It's amazing that more other places outside of the United States have more passion about the fair treatment about George Floyd and black people than our own states. And they live in their other countrymen. You look at them in New Zealand, look at them in Australia, look at what they're doing in Amsterdam, look what they're doing in London. They're marching on our behalf. Meanwhile, we got people here that interact with us, that see us all the time, and they don't even have the empathy for us. How can Drew Brees say something like what he said when he's been there during Katrina, when he watched that it was a group of black people that were left and abandoned to die and drown, and he's supposed to be their savior, their hero, and for him to bring it up and talk about what his grandpa did? Really? Guess what? My grandpa was there too, fighting in that same war that your grandpa was. But guess what? My grandpa couldn't bunk with your grandpa because blacks weren't allowed because we weren't equal. Oh, I can die. We can die in the same war, but we can't sleep in the same damn bunk.
I think the perspective you guys have brought has certainly been outstanding. I can't thank you enough. It's unfortunate we don't have more time to continue to talk about this issue. Our country certainly needs much more time to continue to talk about this issue. That'll do it for this edition of Football Night New York. For Ralph Vacchiano, Jeane Coakley, Bart Scott, I'm Jonas Schwartz. Thanks for watching.